At APS, we envision a world powered 100% by clean energy, and we are committed to doing our part to help small businesses across Arizona. The Going Green, Going Smart program is designed to arm you with tools to save money, save energy, and attract new customers to your small business. The COVID-19 pandemic has had unprecedented impacts to our economy and especially our small business community. And this program is designed to help you take your small business to the next level and come back even stronger. You will learn how to build a sustainability plan, create an energy audit checklist, as well as a green marketing plan through our on-demand training program. You'll earn the certificate in less than 60 minutes, and it's free of charge. So please be sure to visit greenbizaz.com for a list of resources and scheduled events.
Hello and welcome to the Going Green and Going Smart program. I am Jasmine Mosqueda and I'm excited to have you with us today. Today, we're going to explore how small businesses can adopt circular economy principles to reduce waste and maximize resources. We'll learn about sustainable practices that help minimize waste, improve efficiency, and even create new value from what otherwise would be discarded materials. We'll also be joined by a special guest who will share their first-hand experience in transitioning their business to a circular economy model. If this is your first time with us, a very warm welcome. These sessions are designed to expand your knowledge on green initiatives and complement our Going Green and Going Smart certificate program, which I'll share more about at the end of today's session. Our mission is to help small businesses in Arizona save energy, reduce cost, and attract more customers by offering free resources and training as part of the Going Green and Going Smart program. Sustainability is more important than ever, not just for your customers, but for the planet. This program will give you the tools and skills you need to achieve your goals and even exceed them. So let's begin. How can your small business take steps towards adopting a circular economy and minimizing waste? Let's start with a little background about circular economy. It's different from the traditional linear model of take, make, and dispose. The circular economy focuses on extending the life cycle of products through regeneration, reuse, and recycling, which minimizes waste and maximizes resources. Today, we are joined by Orlando Cazarez, CEO of Arizona Sustainability Alliance, who has extensive experience helping transition to circular economy practices. He will share insights on how businesses can adopt these principles and the positive impact it can have not only in the environment, but also on their profitability. Welcome, Orlando. Thank you for joining us today. It's good to see you.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward to the conversation.
Yes, and I think you have valuable insight. Now, to start, what does sustainability mean to you?
Yeah, it's, in my opinion, has many interpretations. The way that we apply it, or as I would apply it here with the work that I do with the Arizona Sustainability Alliance, is we engage in practices focused on the priorities of urban forestry, sustainable food systems, conservation, and clean energy. So we have different programs and initiatives that are either focused on education or engaging with youth and the community with through projects. And the idea is to introduce the concepts, make sure that folks are comfortable with how they can be engaged and have a active role in caring for our environment, educating themselves on how they can be more friendly to our earth and to their daily lives as consumers, being able to make an impact in their community, either to planting drought-tolerant trees,
right,
being able to recycle, compost, and showing them other organizations and programs within the state of Arizona that they can either volunteer for or become active participants. But sustainability, in my opinion, is something that everyone has a potential to have an active role. And it could be as simple as watching your consumption on a daily basis, whether it's through food or the products that we use, single-use plastic items, or just making sure that you're caring for the environment so that you're not leaving the earth in worse shape than before you went on a trail hike or uh, used a product specifically in your household that was damaging. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. I just say look at your lifestyle and how can you be more conscious of the impacts of the environment based on your lifestyle.
Of course, we can all do our part, and the basis of it is education. So, thank you for being here again. What do you think motivates an individual or organization to adopt the circular economy principles, and how can they benefit from this shift?
Well, I think circular economy is one of those things, again, sort of like with the responsible sustainability, that there's so many entry points, and folks can look at ways that they can, share. Obviously, in the past 20 years, there's been a lot of new business models that have come into play that allow us to be a part of the shared economy. And the first thing that comes to mind is, the shared ride model. At one point, we all had cars or multiple cars, and now we can share a Uber or a Lyft or any of those other brands. And that's, a component of, circular economy. We're sharing a asset, a product, in this case, a vehicle. And we're not all, relying on the consumption or the creation or the manufacturing or of, a vehicle for each of us to use only 10% of the time or 10% of our day. So that's one example. I'm a big fan of, refurbishing, repairing, reusing. The idea that, nowadays, something breaks and it's, a lot of folks think that it's easier to just replace, go out there and purchase something else. I always challenge, folks to, take a look and see if it's something that you can repair and extend its lifetime. And of course, that reduces the amount of waste. It reduces the amount of, products that are manufactured, whether they're manufactured here locally or abroad. So there's a lot of ways to, take on the circular economy depending on, which stage or what things you're using on a daily basis at work, at home. But there's also a lot of fun ways that you can use this. This is something I think that's fun to bring to, our youth, our students, our kids, to show them that, something like a reusable bag. We're
Right.
not needing to have plastic bags each time that we go to the grocery store. We can have a reusable bag that we can continue to use time and time again. So there's a lot of little kind of like hacks, if you will, that all of us can integrate into the circular economy. So I really enjoy talking about this topic, and hope that we can dive into a few more examples.
Right, and you'll have an opportunity. And I think buying refurbished or repairing items is actually much more cost effective for multiple reasons. So, can you provide an example of how implementing circular economy principles can improve efficiency and reduce waste in these different sectors?
Yeah, for sure. I like to give examples of some things that we use in our nonprofit in our day to day. So, um, there's several groups and organizations like Arizona Sustainability Alliance. We do have a program on urban forestry where we plant trees at schools and parks. And every time that we go out to one of these locations and bring drought tolerant trees to a schoolyard, a field, a parking lot, we end up coming together with students, teachers, community members, and we rely on, of course, tools. And these tools range from wheelbarrows, shovels, picks, and other types of tools. And I bring this tools specific concept because we could purchase our own tools and use them time and time again, or rely on the tools by the district or by the Parks and Rec department at a city sometimes when we plant at parks. But we opt to use in my opinion, a perfect example of a circular economy provider, the Phoenix Tool Bank. They're a community tool bank that allows us to rent the tools for a very low cost, and it is a shared model. So we're not, again, contributing towards the mass production and consumption of individual tools that we'll only use once a month. We're borrowing the tools at a low cost from a shared tool bank space, another nonprofit here in the Valley. And then we return them when we're done. We clean them, we return them, and then somebody else, like AZSA or like the Red Cross or other organizations, can borrow those tools and do what they need to use with those tools. So we're very excited about models that allow us to be able to use only what we need and allow others to also have access to those items versus again increasing the manufacturing and the production of things that would just sit in inventory for the majority of their life, except for when we pull them out to use them for these events. So I think that there's those examples, and a lot of businesses, obviously, companies that work with manufacturing have a lot of waste that they can capture and then repurpose, capture and recycle responsibly. There's a lot of restaurants that are now integrating the composting of any leftovers, so that they can use them for community gardens or other organizations that distribute that. We have a program that is called Help a Farm, and we work with local urban farmers, and we've seen this live where these farmers are bringing volunteers. We help coordinate the volunteer groups that come to those farms, and we see that the one specifically, Recycle City, is one of the farms that we've worked with in the past, and they have a whole network of this bucket system where they collect these remnants and then they bring them into their farm, and they process those remnants, and then have a way of returning that processed compost, which is enriches the growing of food and fruits, vegetables, herbs, and flowers throughout the valley and into people's homes. So there's a whole slew of ways. I'm always excited to see how different companies and industries are finding ways to identify those opportunities to utilize that waste in meaningful ways, so that it doesn't end up in the landfill, so that there is a extension of life for that waste. And sometimes it's in-house, and sometimes it's finding a entity, a partner, a neighbor, or an organization that could have a use for that, what would be considered waste, but it's at that point an ingredient or a supply or a material that can be put into building something else. So it's a lot of good creative ways that I think most businesses can really explore and should explore.
Right. And I must confess, these examples are great because I'm guilty. If I need a screwdriver, I probably buy one every time I need one because I forget where I leave it. And so now talking about these challenges, things that we didn't know that were available, what other common challenges do people encounter with the transition, and what strategies do you recommend to address these challenges?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of going back to the last question, I think a good challenge for every household and every business, whether it's a small, medium, or large household or organization, is to essentially audit, what kind of things are they using and reusing on a daily basis, and understanding whether it makes sense to have something purchased and on inventory, or can they share something with a neighbor or a colleague, or so on and so forth. For the cost perspective, obviously, I'm going to go on a tangent here, but the way that space exploration with SpaceX, like at one point NASA was building rockets and basically using them one time. And now, even though that example is very unique and very specific, but, if we can, build technology that allows us to have multiple uses versus, a single use, that's at the heart of circular economy. So the idea is audit your processes, audit your inventories, understand where are there opportunities where you can reduce the amount of new product consumption. And I think in the long run, the economic benefits could be substantial, depending on the size of the operation. So I think it's not only good for the environment, but it ends up really kind of impacting the bottom line of businesses. And I think for every business, small, medium, or large, at the end of the day, it's how much can they save so they can put those savings towards other areas of their business, whether it's to hire additional personnel, to develop their personnel professionally, or to simply like have funds to do other expansions of their business or investments in their business.
Definitely. So start with a small inventory. Look at your stuff. Look how you use things. We don't always need the newer model of phone, right?
Yeah.
Now, with practical advice, what would you tell small business owners that are looking to incorporate the circular economy practices into their daily operations?
I think a lot of it is something. A lot of it can be looked internally at inside the four walls of a business, but I also think that there's the consumer power and the supplier power. So every business has sometimes dozens of vendors, if not hundreds of vendors. So they should look at that vendor relationship and push upward and downward as to how can these vendors that they're working with also be held responsible, and maybe ask about like how are you doing some of these circular economy practices or integrating some circular economy practices. I look at restaurants specifically, and a lot of the times the packaging that they're using is single-use plastic or packaging that can only be used once, and here and there, I was at in Washington D.C. last week, and at the Kennedy Center, they have these cups at the concession stand, and they're essentially sippy cups with a lid that does not use a straw. And it's multiple, kind of strategies. They use those because they don't want us, they want to prevent spills from happening inside of the Kennedy Center within the performance spaces. But then also it's a souvenir and people can use them, so reuse them. I'm sorry. So it might cost a little bit more, but it extends the life and the usability of items that are everyday and are, in this case, distributed at their concession stand by the hundreds, if not thousands, on a monthly basis and an annual basis. So those conversations, I assume, spurred from their suppliers for these cups, and they had to figure out like, okay, well, we need a solution. How can we come across something that can be can fit the needs of their performance center and serve multiple purposes versus just a plastic cup that will be thrown out after each performance. So and then on the consumer side, I think a lot of us are more conscious about where we want to do business. If a business is showcasing recycling practices, reuse practices, they have signage that promotes some of these things. I look at the recycling of electronics and batteries and computers and things. There's a lot of places that are specifically modeled around taking on some of those things as donations and then working on them. Arizona Sustainability Alliance specifically, we use refurbished computers from AZ Strut, another nonprofit here in the Valley that brings students on board, and they teach the students how to work on those computers, like wiping the hard drive out, reloading an operating system, making sure that there's some testing on the platforms and making sure that they're going to be still functional. This computer that I'm working on, it's a refurbished Dell computer that came from a corporation, and they reached the end of their life cycle on it, whether it was 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and we purchased them from AZ Strut, and so far so good. A year and a half, almost 2 years in, and it saved us dollars because we didn't have to go out and buy a $500 or $1,000 laptop. And nowadays, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, most of our stuff is stored on the cloud. So perfect solution, affordable solution, and a earth-friendly solution. So look at all of those things. Where are you purchasing your items from, and who is purchasing your items, and how can you connect or integrate some of those sustainability solutions, some of those circular economy solutions as to what's being brought in and what's being pushed out through your business.
I've enjoyed our conversation so much, and the food industry has great potential. And then the students that are learning how to repair computers, they also learn a skill. It has many, many benefits. So I thank you again, Orlando, for speaking with us and providing this valuable information. Have a great day.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
The circular economy offers a huge opportunity for small businesses to not only reduce waste but also increase efficiency and profitability. Your insights have shown that this transition is not just possible but can be incredibly rewarding. To everyone watching from home or work, I hope you found today's session valuable. If you're ready to take the next step in adopting circular economy principles, visit our website at greenbizaz.com to learn more about our Going Green and Going Smart certificate program. In under 60 minutes, you can complete the program at your own pace and gain the skills needed to create a sustainability plan, conduct an energy audit, and connect with other like-minded business owners. While you're there, check out our rebate programs offered by APA Solutions for Business, which can help you pay your green initiatives. Don't forget to spread the word by sharing our website with your colleagues and following the conversation using the hashtag GreenBizAZ. Thank you once again for joining us in today's session on circular economy principles. We hope you found it valuable and look forward to seeing you at our next session. Until next time, take care and keep going green.